Hi everybody, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life. I hope you're doing well. This is the new moon view for water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The new moon, or the dark moon as it's sometimes called, is a time for self-reflection. We tend to go within while the sky is dark and while we are connecting with our mother's womb, the womb of the new moon. And this is a time to renew ourselves, renew our commitments, to be still and know that what we're seeking we will find, and it will be revealed to us in our time. Why do we do this? Because syncing with the new moon teaches you right timing so that you'll be able to operate in the rhythm of the universe and not just your watch or a clock or some bell that goes off that tells you it's time for the next thing. The moon cycle is another kind of clock, and it's a great way for you to reconnect to the natural order of things so that your life and your lifestyle are operating in a much healthier balance. So today's reading is going to be taken from three places. The Moon Oracle. I'll be reading from that for just the general moon, for the intuitive side of the moon, or the intuitive as opposed to the astrological part of what's happening with the new moon. So I'll be doing that with the Moon Oracle. I'll also be reading from the Dreaming Way Lenormand for the for your element, or for your elemental partner's message for all of the elements of water. And then last but not least, I'll be reading from the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards for each sign. So I'll get right into it. There'll be a card for Cancer, there'll be a card for Pisces, and also a card for Scorpio. Okay, so before I get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology of the new moon, so that you'll know what's happening with that and any other planets that are walking with her right now at this time. So the month this month, the new moon is in the sign of Capricorn. It is in the 4th degree. It is also in aspect or in conjunct with the sun, also in 4 degrees of Capricorn. And so these planets are both rolling along or moving along with Mercury, the planet of communication, which is in the 25th degree of Sagittarius at this time. So the moon in Capricorn suggests that this is a more serious-minded moon. You may feel the need to get your house in order, which of course makes sense because we're at the end of the year. This is the winter. It's a time for us to be thinking about that and reflecting on that. Plus, we're getting ready for the new year, and a lot of people are doing their resolutions, affirmations, intentions. So it makes sense that you're in the business. You're urged to be in the business mind of Capricorn, which is where the new moon is in right now. In the 4th degree, there's a sense that this process is significant in moving forward. So even though you're standing still and you're being dormant and you're being still and you're being self-reflective, it's an important part of being able to move to the next phase of your life, because if you don't have time to self-reflect, then you don't know what you are and are not going to do. You don't have a time to look at how you have what you've done in the past, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and then what your plans are and how you plan to engage your energy moving forward. Okay, so it's a time of reflecting, but it's also a time of getting down to business and using that downtime to really push you forward. It's also suggesting that this is a time to get off the fence, and also a time for you to detach from anything that may be distracting you from your goals. The moon's relationship with the sun, which usually counterbalances feelings and emotions during the significant moon phase, is as the moon's willing partner. They are in conjunct. The sun and the moon are always in conjunct during a new moon, which means that they are walking together, and your actions will be aligned with this inner urge to kind of get things in order and get yourself together and establish a new order for yourself. So your actions and your thoughts and your feelings are all moving in the same direction. And in the 4th degree of Capricorn, that direction is forward. The 4th degree says don't get distracted. Don't let other things get in your way, but continue to just slow and steady wins the race. Continue to just press forward. Continue to just press forward. So the other planet that you want to be paying attention to during the new moon is Mercury, which is also in conjunct with the moon, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius, as I said, in the 25th degree. But with Mercury in motion, we can expect to be a little more outspoken. Mercury rules communication, it rules writing, it rules our thoughts. So you may tend to be a little more outspoken about your plans, and more specifically, you might be more outspoken about what you are and are not going to do and tolerate in the year coming towards you. And that's because you have had this time of self-reflection. So you know what you want. You know what it is that you're going to do and not going to do. And you've also had a chance to see what those distractions may look like for you, so that you can get those out of your way once and for all. So we want to be paying attention to Mercury, what we're saying, what we're speaking, and letting people know what our intentions are and how we plan to fulfill them. And that's not for their business. That's that act of speaking what it is that you're trying to do in your life is not to prove anything to anybody or to convince anybody of anything. It is just a way for you to solidify what your intentions are, and speaking them out loud in community and with other people kind of helps to put that energy into motion, for better or worse. Sometimes if you're speaking in the wrong circles, it can distract you. So there again, something to think about. All right, so that'll give you an idea of the energy that's moving with the new moon this month, so that you can apply that to your focus, to your intentions, to your goals, or just so that you can kind of pay attention to the way those vibrations are circulating around you and where they're circulating in your atmosphere. So now we're going to go right into the intuitive part of this section, the new moon reading, which kind of takes the astrology of the moment and builds on it intuitively using the oracle cards, so that water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces will have a sense of how this is going to affect them, and also how it's going to affect their elemental partners in the zodiac. All right, so from the moon oracle cards, we have just the fact that we're in a black moon. It is an earth moon. It is a dormant moon. The key word here is economy. It's about streamlining. It's about pulling back. It's about narrowing your focus and getting down to the brass tacks and getting down to some bottom lines. So during this new moon, as you're reflecting on your past and reflecting on the goals that you have, it's really about streamlining. If you have too much going on, then you can't really give a concerted effort toward reaching a particular aspect of the goal. Now, when you think about goals, or when I think about goals, the goal is kind of the war, if you will, and then your objectives are kind of the battles that go toward it. So if you're trying to accomplish something, you're trying to attack a situation, or you're trying to stop something or to start something, either way, the far-reaching goal is to, of course, complete or accomplish. But there's these little things in between where you are now and reaching that goal that have to be focused on, or that have to be streamlined. Some things have to be focused on, and some things don't have to be focused on. So if you're overly focused on one thing, then that would be a place for you to economize your thoughts. If you have been overspending, for example, then you'll want to streamline your finances and think about what's the most important thing for me to purchase and how can I save. If you're thinking about other excesses, whether they be addictions, things that you're trying to overcome, then you'll want to think about what is the most important thing for you right now. Is it taking another drink or eating another piece of pie, or is it to make sure that I reach my weight goal or my sobriety goal, or whatever goals you're trying to reach about that. But it's about economizing as opposed to being in a state of excess. The second card that comes up, which is related to the degree status of the moon in the 4th degree, is the wedding card. The wedding makes us think about commitments, but this card also suggests doing things in a conservative fashion, doing things in a traditional way, or using those tried and true methods to getting that help you to streamline, that help you to get your focus together and to narrow your focus so that you can complete goals. If your focus is too spread out, like if you're trying to focus on too many things at once, then accomplishing the goals then becomes, you end up being at a stalemate. This card is the Hecate card. This is associated with the new moon being in the sign of Capricorn, and Hecate is the goddess that sees in three directions. She sees the past. She can see the future for herself, but she also is very stabilized and grounded in the present moment. When I see this card, I think about the Chariot card, which is about movement in the tarot. When I see these two animals, it makes me think about the chariot, and then her dress also reminds me of the actual chariot, and it deals with movement. Hecate also governs the crossroads, or is associated with the crossroads. There are many other crossroads deities as well. Eshu Elegba, the coyote, the crow, the spider. There's many different, or Heyoka. In different traditions, the crossroads keeper is different, but in this tradition, Hecate relates to the crossroads. So if you're sitting at the crossroads and you can't get off the stump, then these energies of, just looking at what you've done so far, looking at your past and seeing what you've accomplished and what you've learned, and how that allows you to do what you're doing more efficiently and more effectively, is the mindset that you'll want to be in during this new moon time. There's also a message through the text of the Moon Oracle that talks about going to the past, reliving it, making an assessment, and then doing a ritual of some sort. It could be a water ritual, which I would highly recommend, maybe a bath of some sort, that kind of takes away the past and its negative influences, or the things that have the things from your past, or your experiences from your past, that have caused a negative vibration that causes you to sit on the fence as opposed to moving forward. That's the kind of thing that you'll want to be thinking about as you're doing your spiritual bath. So for those of you who do that kind of thing, the new moon would be a good, and those of you who do new moon rituals, full moon rituals, if you would like to do a new moon bath and you are dealing with things from your past that seem to be hindering you, that would be a great ritual for you during this new moon tide, for you to add that to your list of things to do, or your new moon gatherings, or whatever it is that you might be doing with your friends and your family. All right, moving right along to the Lenormand deck. I pulled two cards for your element water signs, and I got the Rider and I got the Bouquet, which tells me that there are new things on the horizon, and you are moving forward undistracted, which is a great thing. And because you are doing that, the positive things that you've been wishing and hoping for are coming with that. So there should be some good energy coming in at the end of the year and into the first of the year, because of your commitment and because of the fact that you are moving forward undistracted and not being concerned about what's to the right and the left of you. You're continuing to just slowly but surely meet your goals. Then good things will be coming to you, positive things that are really going to enliven you and bring some energy back into your life, or into your project. All right, so I'm looking at Cancer with the Mystical Shaman Oracle. Cancer, you've got the magic right now, so tap into your inner magic and your outer magic. Connect with your spirit guides and angels, and not just that, but also with the power that you have gained from your experiences. Again, as Hecate looks into the past, and uses that energy to move into this future with these positive things coming in. Look at the energy that you've been able to garner for yourself, Cancer, and also use that as your fuel. Use that as your tools. Use that as the impetus for moving forward for yourself. So the energy is there, and it's coming from what you've already done. That's what I'm getting from that card. for you. So during the new moon, it's the number is 33. I would do some meditation around the number 33. It is a power number. It is associated with death and rebirth. 33 is associated with the Christ seed, and with Christ, in the life of Christ. And so sacrifices, as you're doing your past reflection, you might want to think about the sacrifices that you've made and how those sacrifices have lifted you to another level vibrationally. And that is the magic. That is the power that you're operating with Cancer at this time. So it's a good time to just focus on that and reflect on that. All right, Scorpio, you have the beloved. So when I was looking at this for the water signs, I thought about love when people bring you bouquets or they bring you some element of affection. So Scorpio, I would expect for people to be showing you some love during the new moon. Take it all in and use this as a self-reflective tool for yourself. So as people are showing you love and showing you affection and also telling you how much you mean to them, use that as your self-reflective tool, and also look at that in terms of when you look at the whole picture of yourself, narrow it down to that. Narrow it down to all of those positive attributes that people are sharing with you at this time and during this month and during the season. And then also build on that by reflecting on it, meditating on it, and seeing yourself fully in that light during the new moon time. And I feel like that is kind of you sitting still and being dormant. It's not just sitting still, being dormant, but sitting still, being dormant, and thinking about the positive things that are coming your way, or the ways that people are showing and expressing love to you, and the ways that people are showing you that you are loved in their life. And then think about that for yourself and say, okay, that's the standard that I'm operating with, and that's how I'm going to move forward in my life with these ideas in front of me. All right, and then Pisces, you have the blade. The blade is a powerful tool. It cuts through the BS. It cuts. It does cut both ways, but it does cut. And cutting is about, again, economizing, removing those things from your life that are no longer useful to you. It's about moving that stuff out of your way. It's about not being distracted from your overall goal, whether it be personal or professional. But the blade is telling you to to cut the excess out of your life, and to cut anything that isn't going to feed your future goals, or that isn't feeding your vision, or that isn't moving, that is keeping you in a stuck place and keeping you from being able to get off that starting block. Okay? All right, so that has been the new moon view for December 26, 2019 for my water signs. If you want to stay in sync, just continue to tune into this channel during the new moon and the full moon phases. And if you want to take a deeper dive and find out how the moon is affecting you on a very personal level, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life, or connect with me through the website or the links that are below in the description box. As always, I hope you have a great new moon, and I hope you have a fantastic life.